If you've been on the internet the last few days, you've probably seen the uproar around Jaguar's rebrand. Get it? Uproar, roar, Jaguar, roar.
Now, as lifelong enthusiasts and passionate followers of the brand, we agree. But the question is why? Why is everybody so upset? Why is Jaguar committing brand suicide on their Instagram, deleting comments? What's going on?
Well, in this episode of 427 Motorsports, a rare episode where we're actually up to date on current affairs, we're going to show you through Jaguar's sky highs and their David Hasselhoff eating cheeseburgers off the floor lows, and why you should be annoyed about the rebrand too.
Jaguar came into the world in 1922 as the Swallow Sidecar Company, founded by two good friends who were into bikes, William Walmsley and William Lyons. Eventually, one William would buy the other one out, proving that two wills make a won't.
Take two would come though in 1934, when William Lyons then founded SS Cars. As you can imagine, come 1939, the whole SS Cars thing had some slightly bad connotations, so come 1945, they made a change and changed their brand to Jaguar, which was at the time their flagship car. They said it was to avoid any confusion with any foreign SS's, but we know what they were talking about.
Right from the off, Jaguar meant three things: grace, pace and space. Grace from their glamorous sports cars, pace from their motorsports division, and space in their luxurious saloons. And all while providing excellent value for money compared to their European counterparts.
In motorsports, Jaguar were legendary, winning Le Mans numerous times in the 50s, including, and not really including, 1955 for the obvious reasons. They pioneered disc brakes along with Dunlop on the Jaguar C-Type and the Jaguar D-Type. And they won again in the late 80s with the iconic silk-cut Jaguar XJ-R9 with their legendary V12. The V12 is also wheeling down under in the 80s as well, with the awesome Group A V12 XJS, which took a win at Bathurst at the James Hardy 1000, thanks to our good friends at TWR.
The motorsports victories translated to the streets as well, with the cars becoming cult-like sex symbols of their time. It's no secret that Enzo Ferrari thought the E-Type was the most beautiful car ever built, and the XK120 was a looker as well. We also couldn't stop by without mentioning that iconic interior smell.
Speaking of their sports cars, I will let it be known, and I'll fight any man or woman or child who says otherwise, I love the XJS. It's probably why they got me to say the bit about the XJS a second ago. And don't get me started on the Jaguar saloons, which is where Jaguar really kind of hits home for us, having grown up with them. Granted, that makes it sound like we came from money. No, they were worth about 200 quid at the time, so no. Jaguar saloons were truly something else. Never mind the early ones with the confusingly high mark numbers like Mark 9 and 13 and a million. When Jaguar really came into its own widespread was the Mark 1 and the Mark 2, which came out in the 50s. There was a little bit of a flurry between the Mark 1 and the XJ because they were taking so long to develop the XJ, they just made a load of different models in the desperate attempt to get some money. But let it be said that no Jaguar after the Mark 1 was anything short of extraordinary. There wasn't a single one of them that didn't make you go wow when you saw it on the street.
Or that didn't make you go oh shit in the streets because presumably something bad had just happened. You see, exceptional performance, four doors and reasonable affordability made the Jaguar the car of choice for criminals back in the day. XJ6's screeching around a corner into a stack of boxes wasn't just a fantasy of the Sweeney, well maybe the boxes bit was, but it was the real deal. The craze had a Mark 10. That's why Jaguar got its reputation as a bad guy's car. A Jaguar's boot closing down on you was the last thing some poor people saw back in the day. Jaguar even cashed in on this reputation themselves with an ad campaign, "It's good to be bad."
We all drive Jaguars. Oh yes, it's good to be bad.
Yep, things were going swimmingly at Jaguar. But just as often as things go swimmingly at Jaguar, things always go horribly wrong. See, as much as we adore Jaguar at this channel, Jaguar has been nothing short of a fucking disaster. First of all, there's the British Leyland years. Of course, nearly anybody who was on the British Leyland had a hard time of it, but Jaguar in particular was a hell of a fall from grace. Stories of bodies unpainted going from one factory to another in all weather conditions, uncovered, completely exposed, getting rust on them before getting painted is not uncommon.
Thankfully, a man called John Egan took Jaguar private in the early 1980s. He was Jaguar's answer to Ferdinand Piëch, the man who saved Volkswagen. Under Egan, Jaguar would produce the highest quality cars it would ever make for a couple of years.
But, as Nelly once said, as we say so many times on this channel, all good things come to an end, and a hostile takeover, sort of, by Ford in 1989 was the end of privatised Jaguar. Now, a lot of people say that that was the true downfall of Jaguar, but I mean, Jaguar still made some great cars under Ford. The XJ220, the XJ6 was actually pretty good at the time. The S-Type, I'm gonna go on record saying it's growing on me. Still not great, but it's growing on me. Now, don't get me wrong, they also did then make cars with Ford Transit keys and other such things, but it is what it is, so.
But again, by the early 2000s, Jaguar was hemorrhaging money. Ford now wanted rid of them, but they spent so many billions buying them they had a hard time trying to accept that. So Ford sold to Indian car maker Tata, and we got a renaissance of Jaguar. Under Tata, they produced cars that were stunningly beautiful. Cars like the XJ, the XE and the XF were all gorgeous saloons, not to mention the F-Type, which still holds up today.
But the thing about Jaguar is, though, which we haven't really talked about yet, is that everyone loves Jaguar for being Jaguar. Don't get me wrong, most people don't want to fucking own one because of reliability and other such things, but there's nobody out there who doesn't like Jaguars. Even after Ian Callum took the reins as designer, their design still harked back to the days of an aggressive, sporty car, and they still design some of the most beautiful saloons and sports cars they've ever made.
BMW and Mercedes people like Jaguars, despite the fact that they're in the same category, because Jaguars aren't a threat. They're too busy arguing over M and A and G, so that when they see a Jaguar, just respect it. Older people in the UK love Jaguar because it reminds them of a time when Britain was Britain. Think Austin Powers with the Union flaggy type.
Let's not think that.
The cars remind them of their youth, when they used to see those gracious beasts on the street, and they knew that they were built locally.
Jaguar has always been the underdog, the anti-hero, the lovable villain. They've always been all things old school cool, and they hark back to a time when they were a good fight and a pint would sort any issue out.
Which is why taking everything Jaguar did stand for and throwing it in the bin in favour of an advert that looks like it's for TK Maxx has everybody in uproar. Jaguar discontinued its whole range in 2022. You haven't been able to buy a new Jaguar for a couple of years. They want to go all electric. Now that's not a groundbreaking strategy in this climate, plenty of manufacturers are doing that. The difference here is Jaguar are scrapping everything for it. Now, why are they doing this? Well, some bright spark at Jaguar has spotted a gap in the market. Now this isn't a gap left by some technology or a new segment, this is a gap of personality. And that personality belongs to Elon Musk.
Your average Tesla buyer was fairly well educated, left-leaning, little bit liberal, fairly smug about saving the planet, child labour be damned. The problem with these cars is that they've become so intertwined with the personality that's made them, unlike any other car before. Except maybe the Beetle in the 30s and 40s, but we'll not dive into that one.
You see, when Elon stopped being a benevolent tech revolution genius who was going to save the planet or fly us all to Mars instead, and started to become a deranged internet yap who called rescue workers paedophiles because they didn't want his help, or bought Twitter just so people could cyberbully each other with impunity, people started to disassociate with him. Now, for somebody who owns a Tesla already, that is a very difficult thing when Meme Man is all over the internet selling his cars for $69,420.
Oh, alright. 2010 called once its fucking meme figures back.
And the final nail in the coffin was cozying up to Donald Trump at his latest election win.
So enter stage left, Jaguar. Somebody wants to hoover up all those sales that Elon Musk has dumped. Which is why now we have Jaguar's multicultured, metrosexual, TK Maxx advert.
It's a big risk. The mass appeal of Tesla came in no small part from Musk himself. The cult of personality, his efforts to publicise his cars. You were buying a car not from a company, but from a man. A man who's going to fly people to Mars. This new Jaguar would want to be a rocket ship if it's going to capture that same appeal.
This also sounds like Volkswagen in the 1930s. At time of recording, November 23rd, we've been told by Jaguar that on December the 2nd we will be introduced to some actual products from this all new Jaguar. And hopefully we'll be eating our words. But unfortunately, being a pessimist rather than an optometrist, I think that's very unlikely. Somebody on the internet, that's always the sign of a good source, Connor, thanks for putting somebody on the internet in. Somebody on the internet pointed out that Jaguar and Land Rover will now no longer share a platform. And what that means is it's going to be much easier for Tata to dissect Jaguar away from Land Rover. And instead of JLR standing for Jaguar Land Rover, it might stand for just Land Rover. I mean, it's no small secret that Jaguar sales have been kept afloat by Land Rover because Defenders and Range Rovers sell like hotcakes. And Tata themselves are probably seeing this, which means that they probably aren't that confident in Jaguar themselves, making it easier for them to get rid of them. Tata for now.
Either way, we're sad they had to sell their soul in the process. We really want Jaguar to do well. From our point of view, we'll be reliving the glory days by trying to find another Series 3 XJ6 as soon as we can, if they haven't all been gone to get cars yet. We really do hope that whatever comes next for Jaguar is successful for them, even if that is a new owner. Only time will tell, however. So, for now, from us, good luck, and we'll see you in the next one.